Hope everyone is having a wonderful and blessed Sunday so far. This is going to be my third day of going live. My plan is to go live every day until I get to my 500 subscribers. It's just a goal that I'm setting in front of me. Um, Again, hoping everyone is having a wonderful day. This is my first time going live in within my apartment. Usually, I go live on my apartment balcony, but just wanted to try something different, just to have a more of a intimate moment with everyone that's attending my live today. So, just a little bit about myself. I've been on. My name is Byron. My title for my tag for YouTube is traveling with promise with two L's. I've been uploading content to YouTube since May 19th, and my goal is to be a good content creator. I want to be a one of those creators that provide a reason for everyone to smile. What I like to do in my leisure time, I do like to hike. I do like to go sightseeing and just going around and meeting new people. A little bit about myself. From South Carolina. I've been right after right after right after high school. Went to the military. I was in the military for about 8 years for the Army. I did computer systems and HR roles there. I did 3 combat tours, uh, Operation Enduring Freedom, and I did Operation Iraqi Freedom 1 and Operation Iraqi Freedom 3. Right after my military career, I went into college. I obtained my associate degree and my bachelor degree, and then I went into staffing for a few years. That gets me up until now. What I like to do in my pastime is hiking, in particular. So at the moment, I've been to about 15 national parks thus far. My favorite national park I visit so far is Glacier National Park. I just enjoyed a lot of the hues and blues of the different colors of water, the just the climate in Montana was wonderful and exciting. My favorite trails as I was there, I visited the Barron Falls Trail there, St. Mary's Falls. I also did the Virginia Falls. Hi to everyone on the live. Thanks for attending my live. I really appreciate you joining so far. I did the Trail of Cedars at Glacier. Then I had a great journey on the Going to the Sun Road. Going to the Sun Road was probably one of the most amazing places that I've gone. The scenic views from the mountainsides. You got a cliff on the right hand side as you're going up, um, with wonderful views going down. That was definitely amazing. Um, but it it was definitely something that was spectacular. The Glenelg Trail was also wonderful. I really liked that it had something so special going up the mountain there. So I do wish to go back to Glacier at some point because I did want to go to Avalanche Lake and to also hit up another trail there. But unfortunately, the climate got worse on the back end of the day. That was actually part of my 2 week hiking trip. It comprised of me going to Zion National Park, then I went to the Grand Canyon, then I went to Grand Tetons National Park, Yellowstone National Park, then Glacier National Park, Mount Rushmore, and then the Badlands National Park. Wonderful views throughout. Um, Zion National Park has been my most memorable experience, mainly because it was my second national park that I ever visited. It was definitely a place. If you're someone that just want to see a lot of great sights at a national park with easy trails, that's definitely one of the probably one of the most user friendly national parks that you can visit. You got trails that have waterfalls that's right there, a lot of water flows, great mountain views are there. The Pirates Trail has been my favorite at that location, but that's been pretty much my favorite so far there. Angel's Landing is also something. It's definitely another place that for scenic views, anyone who's not afraid of hikes and just want a great experience from the top of the mountain, that's definitely a great place for you to get those views. There because it's definitely breathtaking views up at that location there. Another good thing about Zion National Park as well as other national parks is that they have shuttle buses that'll take you from place to place there, which is amazing. So you don't have to worry about having to hike from trail to trail. You can pretty much get a shuttle bus at that trailhead, and they'll take it to the next one. Um, Also, lodging there is also amazing. They have a lot of hotels that's nearby. It's a Holiday Inn Express there. It's a Spring Hill Suites, a Hampton Inn on the Hilton side, and a few other local lodges that you can also stay at and within maybe a mile distance of getting there. So that's probably been one of the most organized national parks that I've gone to. The trails are clearly outlined, and it's definitely a good place to visit as a whole. Um, Another national park that I've liked so far is Bryce Canyon National Park. What I like about that is just the overall layout of the park. You're pretty much hiking from the mountaintop down to the valleys, valley low. So you got a lot of scenic views from most of the trailheads because you're hiking down to get to those scenic views. Um, Even the texture of the gravel and dirt there is very user friendly. Definitely a good place to go throughout the year. So it's a great place to visit. Actually, down the road from Zion and Bryce Canyon is the Grand Canyon. So that can be done on a day trip. I literally love Zion National Park and drove a couple hours to get to Grand Canyon and got a chance to see some great scenic views as well. Definitely, if you're someone who are afraid of hikes, Grand Canyon definitely can be a place that may put fear in your heart, but that national park also has a lot of great platforms at certain areas of trailheads. So you can literally go to a particular place, particular trailhead, and there'll be platforms there for you. So you'll be able to still capture yourself to, you'll be able to just be amazed by the views, but also have some security of you not feeling afraid of hikes there. Again, thank everyone who's on the live. Appreciate you joining. Just going over some places that I've visited so far regarding national parks and going over some highlights that I had within each one of those national parks. Um, Grand Canyon was just a day trip. I just went there for a couple hours just to check another box of a national park that I visited. But I was able to take a lot of good videos and pictures of the Grand Canyon. Definitely a good place to visit if you have the time to go. But the the sleeper pick for that 2 week trip was Grand Tetons. That place there was very, very good. An amazing place to go for a lot of great views. I stayed in Jackson for a couple nights there. I flew into Salt Lake City to do the majority of this 2 week hiking trip. But if you are going to the Grand Tetons, you can fly into Jackson Hole Airport. It's literally, if you fly into Jackson Hole Airport, Grand Tetons is maybe 11 to 12 miles away. Very easily to get to. It was almost a straight shot from the Jackson Hole airport. So that's definitely a good place to visit or to fly into if you can't fly into Salt Lake City, Utah. But as I was at Grand Tetons, I had a chance to initially start at the Taggart Trailhead. From there, I went to Bradley Lake, Lee Lake, and visited a couple other trailheads there. A lot of great views. Most of the views that were at Bradley Lake and Lee Lake were mountain views with reflections to the water, which was amazing. Seeing the mountain reflect off the water is definitely something that's a priceless moment that you can share along that trailhead. But I had a great time at that trailhead. Next place I went was Jenny Lake. Jenny Lake is probably the most visited place at Grand Tetons National Park. It's just a place in which you can get to so many different trailheads from. So when you get there, have a lot of parking there, parking available for Jenny's Lake. So I was able to get a park easily there. I hiked the Jenny Lake trailhead, and then I proceeded up to Hidden Falls and Inspiration Point. Hidden Falls is a towering waterfall. Very not a crazy hike up to Hidden Falls. Pretty easy, but the waterfall is definitely a sight to be held. It's a towering waterfall, very violent, cool streams down from it. A lot of people who go visit Grand Tetons, some people bring their families and kids there just to soak in the waterfall for a few minutes or so and just to admire the beauty of that waterfall there. After Hidden Falls, I went up to Inspiration Point. Inspiration Point is a uphill hike. So if you're someone who doesn't like hiking, doesn't like strenuous hikes, that could be a hike that could give you some trouble. The views up there are very captivating, but it could take a little minute to get up there. There's a couple drop offs on the way up to Inspiration Point, so you do have to be very careful after you're hiking as you're hiking up to that point. But once you get up there, it's um, very beautiful views. You get the chance to see the outlook of Jenny Lake, the scenic views from the mountain tops, and just a good overview of the Grand Tetons from at Inspiration Point. So it was definitely an amazing place to visit. So if you do go to Grand Tetons, definitely take advantage of Jenny Lake, the Taggart trailhead, but also realize Yellowstone is only 55 miles away. So if you have the ability to, you can take the South Gate and get straight to Yellowstone, which I did. So I went to Yellowstone the following day. I went to the most common places that people go to. I pretty much made Yellowstone just a day trip. I didn't go there for a second day. So I went to Old Faithful Trailhead, saw a lot of great scenic geysers there, a couple eruptions, including Old Faithful. Proceeded down the West Basin and the Upper Basin and had a chance to see the Sapphire Pools. It's probably some of the bluest water you'll probably see. I'm considering it a water, but geysers is pretty much volcanoes within each one. But seeing that sapphire pool, just the scenic blue of it, and looking, you can look deep inside of those geysers on some of them. Breathtaking views at the sapphire pools. Also, the morning glory was also a great place to visit. Most people who go to Yellowstone will most likely just park at the old faithful trailhead and just go and see the most common places. I mean, most common geysers there. The good thing about Yellowstone is with each geyser, it'll let you know when the last time that it erupted, and it'll also let you know if it's slated to erupt today. So I did have a chance to see a couple eruptions on that day, which was amazing. Then I proceeded up to the Grand Prismatic. That was an amazing view. There, just seeing the different shades of blue, orange, yellow, red, and seeing just the scenic points of the Grand Prismatic Spring. The elixir right beside it was also amazing. It's pretty much an icy blue geyser that you can see the fumes from it throughout the day. I don't think I've ever visited there in which it did not have constant fumes from that volcanic structure, same as Grand Prismatic. But if you ever go to the Grand Prismatic, you can take the Fairy Falls Trail, and if you climb up that trailhead, you can get a good viewpoint of the Grand Prismatic Spring from up top. That's one thing that I wish I did on that particular day, but when I go back to Yellowstone, I'm gonna make sure I take the Fairy Falls trailhead so I can see the Grand Prismatic from the mountain view. Because the pictures I've seen online and videos I've seen online of the Grand Prismatic from the mountaintop view, to me is breathtaking. So if you ever get a chance to go to Yellowstone, and you only have maybe a couple hours to see things, I would just suggest to go and park at the Old Faithful Trailhead, in which you can see a lot. You can probably see up to 30 to 40 different geysers within that trailhead. And if you hike a little bit more further, you can get to the West Basin and see the Sapphire Pool and a few other geysers at that location there. And then if you drive down the road, maybe 10 miles, you'll get to the Grand Prismatic Spring as well as the Elixir geyser. And you also have the Fairy Falls Trailhead there. So that was my Yellowstone trip in its totality. From there, I drove back to my hotel, spent the night, and I drove back to Salt Lake City because I had a flight to Cozumel the next day. I know I'm probably spelling it, I mean, saying it wrong, but I had my flight to Glacier National Park, which is at Cozumel, Montana. So when I got to Glacier, first thing I did, I woke up around 4 o'clock in the morning, drove about 45 minutes to get to Glacier National Park. Because if you don't know, most national parks have a time entry reservation that's required. So, in order to get into certain parts of the national park, you would have to have that time entry reservation to get in. I know me being in Colorado, Rocky Mountain National Park is one of those locations in which, if you get to the park before 5 a.m., you can get into any part of the park, and it'll be free, and it won't require a time entry reservation. But if you wait till after 5, then certain parts of the park you won't be able to get into. It won't matter if you have a annual pass or not. Without that reservation, you won't be able to get into certain parts of those national parks. Oftentimes, I believe it requires either a time entry from 9 to 2, and then other parts of the park, it may require a reservation from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., meaning you pretty much missed out the whole day of getting to a certain section of the park. And when it comes down to mountains, most of the time the mountain sunsets are not too much longer after 6 o'clock. So you pretty much only have only a couple hours to get some hikes in. So I'll just encourage everyone who's going to a national park, just make sure that you do your research, and make sure that if you want to visit a certain part of a park, that you get your chime into reservation. So going back to Glacier National Park, I got to the gate about 4:45. Proceeded on to the going to the Sun Road. Um, Drove up about 45 minutes till I got up to the St. Mary's Falls trailhead. From there, I did a few exciting hikes. I did the Barren Falls and the Sun Point trails. Initially, when I got there, the Barren Falls is an amazing waterfall structure there. It comes down at a particular angle. It has a lot of colored rocks there, so I saw some green, clear, silver, beige, burgundy, all types of rocks there. But the waterfalls were amazing at the Barren Falls. But also, as you proceed up to the Sun Point has some wonderful views at Glacier, because you can pretty much look down at the water, at the river or lake that's there, and it's like a turquoise blue color. Very fascinating views. Very picturesque there. As I got to some point, I was able to get to like a shore area, so it was like a beach area that had a couple decks there. So I was pretty much able to just take a picture of the mountain from the beachside view, which was amazing. Seeing that the water that was coming from from the lake there was crystal clear up to the shore side, but when you walked along the trailhead, it turned turquoise blue, which was amazing. Just seeing how clear a water can be at one side of a trailhead, and then as you proceed further, you see more of it turning to a bluish green color. So that was amazing. But the star of the show was St. Mary Falls and Virginia Falls. When you get to St. Mary's Falls, it's an amazing waterfall. It's pretty much a light greenish blue waterfall, with different wave patterns there. Oftentimes, what people do if they go to St. Mary Falls, it's a bridge that's right there. You have scenic views on both sides, but on the right side of the bridge is pretty much where the waterfall is streaming from, and then on the left side you just see the overlook of the flow of the water. Um, Oftentimes, people that go to St. Mary Falls, it's a bridge there, and people jump off it. I've heard a lot of good things about just how the water feels, but I've also heard that the water at St. Mary Falls is cold throughout the year. So it doesn't matter when you go, it's ice cold there, but it's definitely a great scenic waterfall at Glacier. There's a lot of places in which you can just climb up the structure to just hang out and view the waterfall from certain vantage points. But it is a place that some people will just sit at Virginia Falls all day and just look at the waterfalls, because it is an amazing waterfall. That if you only have one day to visit Glacier, that's not a bad place just to go and see a wonderful waterfall. From there, I did trek up another, I think, either a mile and a half or 2 miles up to Virginia Falls. Virginia Falls is a uphill climb. Pretty much a moderate hike. It's not. It wouldn't be a. I wouldn't classify it as a scary hike or anything. It is a definitely a. Could be a strenuous moderate hike to get up there, but once you get up there, it's an amazing view. The waterfall comes straight from the mountainside and just flows straight down. Um, and what I like about it is a lot of places in which you can just pose for pictures at the Virginia Falls, because the waterfall that's coming down from the mountainside is different rock structures right there. That's right in front of the waterfall. That's pretty much flat. So you can go there and just sit on the waterfall and get drenched by the waterfall. You can just have a seat by the waterfall. You can go to the side and just look at it from different aspects and vantage points. But Virginia Falls is definitely a wonderful waterfall that just looks amazing seeing that the water is just flowing from the top of the mountain straight down, and it's a steady flow waterfall as well. So it's not a waterfall that's just with a little amount of water. It's a good amount of water that's coming down from that waterfall. So I appreciated that hike going up to St. Mary's and Virginia Falls. So if you do only have like a few hours in a day, and you happen to make it inside the park before 5, or you have a time entry pass and you only have a few hours, definitely I would drive up to St. Mary's Falls and definitely check out St. Mary's Falls and Virginia Falls. And then if you go the opposite direction of the trailhead, you do have Sun Point and Barron Falls, which are also great places to visit while you're there. After I left the St. Mary's Waterfall Trailhead, I proceeded to Logan Pass. So Logan Pass is a nice place to visit as well. That's on the Going to Sun Road. They do have a souvenir shop there, so if you need to pick up some snacks, or just if you just want some souvenirs with T-shirts and other items that have Glacier on it, it's a nice shop there to visit. Wasn't too pricey. I think I spent about $200 to $300 on souvenirs, because usually when I go to a national park, I would buy a whole bunch of souvenirs and I pretty much would give it out to friends and family members throughout the year, just as a gift to them, based on places that I've visited so far. So at Logan Pass was definitely um, something out of a fiction movie. As you're hiking up to Hidden Lake, as a part of Logan Pass, you're pretty much going into a section that almost looks like, if you've seen Bone Thugs and Harmony Crossroads video, as people are walking up a mountain, it kind of gives you those vibes on that Hidden Lake trailhead, in which you're hiking up and you don't see what's on the opposite side of where you're hiking. Um, it was definitely a couple strenuous trailheads along that height, but it wasn't too bad. There was a waterfall that was probably about a mile in, that has a lot of great views from it, and a lot of wildflowers were there. Like, so it was like a garden full of wildflowers and a waterfall that was just sitting there, crystal clear water there. As I proceeded further up to Hidden Lake, came into contact with a couple of mountain goats. They were very friendly. A lot of people saw them, and they were just hiking along, just walking up and down the Hidden Lake structure. Never had seen a mountain goat before, so seeing a mountain goat, it was a white mountain goat. Seeing one there was pretty cool, and just good interaction with it. When I got to Hidden Lake is definitely a scenic place to visit. You do have the lake there, but then the colors of the mountains are amazing as well. Like, it's unique colors of bluish green and beige, brown. It was just a unique colors that I've never seen on a mountainside there. But what I liked about Hidden Lake was, if you were to look back on the way that you hiked from Logan Pass, then you got a great view as well of mountains and different structures going backwards. It was just beautiful, and the significance of that. it was actually thunder and lightning throughout that hike. So being being near Logan Pass and Hidden Lake and being able to look back and see thunder and lightning behind the mountains was pretty fascinating. It was a little drizzle that was happening there, but it wasn't too crazy there. It passed over within maybe 30 minutes after I started that hike. So after I left Logan Pass and the souvenir shop, I proceeded down to Avalanche Lake. So when I got to Avalanche Lake, pretty much went to the Trail of the Cedars first. It's a nice little trailhead loop of just cedars, different structures of cedars. It has a wonderful waterfall there as well, an amazing viewpoint of it. A steady flow waterfall too, with unique colors coming from the waterfall is there. I snuck that hike in near the end of the day. It was coming up on 5:30, so I was like, I'll go ahead and try to sneak in a hike. But the downside to it was once I got to that trailhead, it started drizzling, and I should have left the park once it started drizzling, but I didn't. So what ended up happening is after I got done with the Trail of the Cedars hike, I proceeded to move forward to Avalanche Lake. I did pass about 5 or 6 people that stated that, hey, you're not too far from Avalanche Lake. When you get there, feel free to jump into it. 'Cause that's a lake that most people who go to Glacier National Park, that's probably one of the most frequent lakes that people dive in and jump in. So I had every intention on doing that. So as I proceeded on hiking, a rainstorm hit. So I pretty much got drenched real bad. My Sony over ear headphones were ruined. It took almost 6 months for them to finally dry out. Clothes were drenched, everything was drenched. And then when you're hiking a trailhead like that, that's pretty much mostly clay, dirt, and everything, that pretty much turns into mud. So hiking back to my car, 2 miles, like 2.5 miles through mud, and mud just pretty much when the water hitting it, pretty much making it a river flow of mud wasn't the best experience that I had coming back. But I should have followed my mind and just put that on to the next day. But because of how drenched I was, and just because I ended up hiking about 15 miles that day, I decided not to go back to Glacier my next day. I decided to just keep that day as a rest day because I was exhausted. I took in a lot of good views and videos, but my body was just so sore after hiking all those miles on that particular day. So I rested the second day, and then drove back to the Casabel airport the next morning, and I flew to South Dakota. So when I flew to South Dakota, my purpose of going there was to go to Mount Rushmore. So got to route Mount Rushmore about 1:30, and I did a couple of the trails that were there. What I liked about Mount Rushmore is the different viewpoints of it, but also the history of it. I knew of Mount Rushmore. I've seen pictures of it and videos for years, but seeing the history of it and seeing what each one of those trailheads had as far as the history and just the background of it was amazing. Hearing about the person who built the structure and what his goal and mission was for that structure was outstanding. Also, what I liked about Mount Rushmore was just when you enter Mount Rushmore, they do have every state flag um, when it was established on it's pretty much a passageway. As you walk towards Mount Rushmore, you'll see like a field of flags. With that field of flags, every state is notated with their flag, and when it was established, I feel like that was definitely something amazing. And when you if you back up a certain amount of space, you can pretty much take a picture with all the state flags with Mount Rushmore in the background, which is definitely something that I really enjoy doing. It took me a couple of pictures, a couple of takes to get the perfect picture for it, but I did get a good picture. They also have some amazing food there. Most people that go there, you hear about Huckleberry ice cream or Huckleberry products as a whole in that area. That's one of the biggest things that most people, when they go and visit Mount Rushmore, they'll get the Huckleberry ice cream. So I did go to the restaurant shop in there. I didn't get the Huckleberry ice cream, but I did get me a couple scoop of ice cream, got me a slushy, and the star of the show was they do a presentation at nighttime. That presentation is just a PowerPoint presentation in the amphitheater of just the history of Mount Rushmore, what it took to build it, the significance of Mount Rushmore, and everything that led to it, and even how Mount Rushmore is a protected place and all that. But what I really liked about it was at the end of the presentation, they did a salute to the troops. So me being a 8 year Army veteran, I was very touched by the notion that they do that at the end of that presentation. So it was about 25 of us that actually served in the military that actually came down, and we held the U.S. flag, and then they took a picture of us there. So going to a place like that and meeting different tourists and finding out that 20 of us were military vets was amazing. So if you ever had the chance to go to Mount Rushmore, I would say go in the middle of the afternoon and stay for the presentation. You will learn a lot from that PowerPoint presentation, and while you're there, just stay to the end and be a part of the salute to the troops presentation, because that's definitely something that one of the most proudest moments of my life was being honored at Mount Rushmore as part of the salute to the troops there. So after Mount Rushmore, I drove back to my hotel, and the next day I drove to Badlands National Park. Badlands National Park is in a very unique national park. It's pretty much a park full of stone structures throughout the whole park. A lot of scenic viewpoints. They have a lot of good trails that's there. The trails are similar to a Bryce Canyon. You pretty much just start at the top, and then you just a hike down to get the other viewpoints of the trailhead. So I did do the door trail, the window trail, and a few more hikes throughout that day. It was pretty much just a day trip. I only had my goal was just to do the scenic drive throughout the park, and then to hit up a couple trails there. So I met that objective there. So just to conclude that 2 week hiking trip. So that 2 week hiking trip consisted of me going to Zion National Park, the Grand Canyon, Grand Tetons, Yellowstone, Glacier National Park, Mount Rushmore, and Badlands National Park. So on this channel, you're gonna see moments like this. My goal is to put a smile on everyone's face that's looking at my content. I do hike throughout the year, so one of the things I do love about hiking is chasing waterfalls and looking at different bodies of water, and just embracing nature. So if you're someone who's into nature, that loves waterfalls, that love looking at different bodies of water, hiking through different national parks and state parks, and other structures, this is the perfect channel for you. I'm going to provide the best views. I'm going to provide some great videos. I'm gonna have the pretty much the total package that relates to it. And all of my footage is raw footage, so I pretty much don't edit any of my videos or anything else like that. All the footage that I present, I pretty much just give it a name and upload it to YouTube. That's kind of what makes me authentic. I really enjoy what I'm doing. I've only been on YouTube going on about 2 months. Current state, I have 194 subscribers, um, and my goal is to get to that 1,000 subscriber mark as soon as I can. So that way I can start getting monetized for my work and everything. But I do appreciate everyone who's taking the time to go onto my page, comment it, and like anything that I listed. I would encourage anyone to subscribe to my channel. I'm a person who's again just gonna have a lot of good, breathtaking views. I'm authentic. I'm someone who's what you see is what you get here. And like I said, I want to be the content creator that is going to give you a reason to smile, something just to get your mind off of anything that's going wrong in your life or anything like that. Um, Come about my page and looking at my videos is definitely gonna give you a reason to smile. It's gonna give you a reason just to be happy about life. So if you're into waterfalls or you're interested in different lakes and rivers, hiking through woods, someone who goes to different national parks and state parks, I'm the content creator that you was looking for. I have been looking for a while. So what's next for me? I'm planning on going back to Rocky Mountain National Park probably within the next couple of days. I've gone there at least 5 times over the last month or so. The next mission for me will be going to the East Inland Trailhead, in which I'm going to do the Adams Falls and the Cascade Falls. Will probably be the two main places I'm gonna hit. Most of the trails there, the big trails, are 15 to 20 something miles long. Most people camp out at the East Inlet Trail. So to me, it'll just be a day trip for me. I'll just fly. I mean, not fly. I'll drive. I think it's 117 miles from my apartment, and then I gotta take that same trip back. So I will most likely hit that in a couple days. Once I'm there, I'll be putting my footage on YouTube later on that evening. So again, everyone, thank you so much for being on my live. I really appreciate everyone joining it, and I just really got into live about a few days ago. My goal is to go live at least a few times each week, just to have an intimate moment with viewers on YouTube, to let them know that hey, I am a real person, and that I'm hoping to get more subscribers as I can to be successful here. Like I said, I know I'm a good little ways for my goal. I'm just below 200. I'm at 195 um, subscribers right now, but I'm really hoping to get to 500 shortly, and then up to 1,000 and beyond. So if you're a small channel like myself, definitely stop by my channel. If you like what you see, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm definitely a genuine content creator. I love what I do, and I really want to earn everyone's respect. I want to earn everyone's business. Is how I want to see. That's one thing I want to do. I want to earn your trust. I want you to know that if you're subscribing to my channel, you will get the best content. You will get a lot of good things to make you smile, and a lot of great scenery. So in addition to the 15 national parks, I've gone to 40 states. I got about 10 more states left that I want to hit, just to have all 50 states done. I believe it's 63 um, national parks, so I'm 15 out of 63. Got 48 more to go with that, and I will be moving to California probably within the next few weeks. Have a new government job opportunity that I'm very excited about. Um, so I'm going to be able to check off a few more national parks in that region. I've been to Yosemite already, but being able to go to Joshua Tree now and Kings Canyons, the Lacitic Park, I think that's the volcanic part, Death Valley, Channels National Park, and among others, is those have been on my list for a few years now. So me being able to get to California shortly, and being able to hit those parks up more regularly is going to be a game changer for me, for sure. So everyone, again, thank you for joining my live. And again, if you're someone who's into waterfalls, uh, seeing someone look at a lot of lakes, rivers, someone who hikes a lot of state and national parks, I'm the perfect content creator. I'm the perfect page for you. So, and if you haven't checked my page, I'm traveling with Promise as my tag on YouTube. It's with two L's, and at the moment, I believe I have over 500 videos on my channel thus far. Um, I want to say it's probably about 300 videos and 200 shorts. So definitely check out my page. Like, subscribe, comment. And if you're courteous and you want to give to my Cash App is also listed. It's going to be listed in the description of this live. Anything that you give I'll be grateful for. But most importantly, not even about Cash App. If you like or subscribe or comment on my page of anything there, that means more to me than money at this point, because I really take pride in my work. I take pride in my content, and I want to be able to be a creator that everyone would like to see, and a creator that if you just need a moment to get away from the world, go to my page. You see everything that you need just to get to a better place or to a happy place. So thank you for your time. Godspeed. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And I may jump on again this afternoon or this evening. If I do, join me there as well. Godspeed to the next one.